morning, everybody. And got a lot of things to cover. Who would have thought we're 3 weeks into it and we're still going to talk about more things and then one more week. So if you haven't figured out, LinkedIn has multi capabilities for everybody. And my goal as a LinkedIn trainer and sales trainer is to give everyone options. Not everything I say is going to fit your personality or your comfort level, but I want to at least give you the menu. Some things you might agree with, some things you might not. So everyone's going to have a different sales process, mindset. But my goal is to present all options, right? If you can use all of them, great. If you just use one, even better. But the key to anything is, as we know, is consistency, right? So many people will say, geez, I took the class, I did a little bit on LinkedIn, but never got anything. Didn't work for me. Well, how many of you have done P90X and actually did it for the 90 days? And on top of the 90 days, you ate the meal plan along with it and then, got the result. I probably lasted a week and a half on P90X myself. So you want to set expectations on your LinkedIn, which is why today we're going to talk about effective networking. So I spend an average about an hour a day on LinkedIn, but some of you may just want to spend 7 minutes, some of you 2 hours, but anywhere between 7 minutes to 2 hours will still give you some success as long as you're consistent. So pick what you like, what you can commit to, and then usually you'll end up spending more time because you'll see it starting to work for you. And I'm guessing, and again, I'm simply guessing, but if you've been on this call and you're 3 weeks into it, I have to believe that there's been some new visibility with your LinkedIn. You must be getting notifications saying your profile was viewed or you're getting more traction, right? And when we talk about results, you really have to say, how am I measuring my results? And those results, are like, well, when am I going to get my next contract from LinkedIn? It's hard to say if someone's really going to find you and say, I found you on LinkedIn, I need to sell my home, right? But it's a matter of being in front of these people on a regular basis, letting them know you're still in the business, you're there if they need you, you're providing market information, market updates, and you're continually in front of them. Then you'll get that call and say, hey, I want to list my home, or I'm looking to buy a home. So don't expect that result. But if you want an instant result, I touched upon this maybe briefly before, but if I send someone a connection request and they accept my connection request, that is an instant measurable result, right? So you have to look at the small wins versus the big picture. We all want to get more business, but is putting a shingle out and doing nothing going to get you more business, right? We still have to do a little bit of work. But it makes our job easier because at least we can find the right clients and we're not spending a lot of marketing dollars and we know we're getting touch points. So today, we're going to get into effective networking, connecting, looking at notifications, and then we expanded our network last week. We looked at who would already know that we never had any conversations with. Who can I reach out to on LinkedIn that, went to the same school as I do, that's living in the Phoenix area? And how can I build my social network? And especially when we haven't had a real good chance to do the happy hours, the networking, the trade shows, those things just haven't been there for us for the past year. So LinkedIn is your new place to network, right? So we have to embrace what's available, and we're going to get into that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll start opening a few tabs here. And let me just get to that's for today's lesson. Okay. So every day on LinkedIn, this is my 7-minute exercise, right? It could be a little bit longer, but I definitely want to spend my time in notifications. Mastering LinkedIn is at the top dashboard, right? You're going to see your homepage, my network, jobs, messaging, notification. Right here, notification, it's a little bell. This is where you're going to get the really good leads or the good opportunities on a daily basis. So 3 things happen every day in your LinkedIn network. People have birthdays, they celebrate work anniversaries, or they change jobs. Now, a lot of you may have additional information that you see in your feed. I've cleaned mine up considerably, and you'll see these 3 dots right here. If you don't want to see something, you can click on those 3 dots, and then you can simply turn off that type of notification. And I'm assuming everyone can see my screen, correct, Dia?
Yeah.
You can't see the screen?
Nope. I can't see it. Can you guys see it?
I can
Yes.
see it just fine.
Yeah, we can
See it.
Well, it's just me then. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I saw you. I saw you shaking your head, and I was doing that little better check on you to make sure that everyone can see my screen. Okay, all right. So, depending on the size of your network, you're going to have a lot of birthdays, right? With my connections, I have probably 6 birthdays right here. So again, you're going to go to daily notifications, and the key word here is daily, right? Every day. We're going to go to notifications, see what's happening in our feed on LinkedIn. So first thing is birthdays. So it says 5 others are having birthdays. So I'll click see who's celebrating. Now we're going to take a look at these. There were 6 of them, right? 6 birthdays. So the first question is, do I know this person? Second is, do I know them well enough to say happy birthday, right? I don't necessarily wish people in my network that I don't know a happy birthday. And then second, if I'm going to wish them a happy birthday, if I click on say happy birthday, it'll say happy birthday at the bottom, right? And that's just simply something I can send. So that doesn't take a lot of effort, and it's not that personal. So when you just click the generic happy birthday, all you're really doing is filling up people's inboxes, and maybe they'll say thanks, or maybe they won't say anything at all. But the key thing is to say happy birthday and have a message at the end of that. So I have two rules for birthdays, or two options, I should say. Option 1 is engage, and option 2 is not engage, meaning I could wish Dr. Bocher a happy birthday and not end with a question mark. I could say, happy birthday, Andreas. Hope you're doing well, right? Have a great celebration, period. That's not an engagement. He'll get the message. At least it's custom. It wasn't the standard happy birthday, but I didn't necessarily want to get his attention and have a conversation. So I left it with a period. Or I could say, happy birthday. Any big plans for your birthday? Question mark. And usually someone will say, geez, thanks. No, just staying home, or this and this, or how have you been? Any big plans for your birthday? Question mark. That's engaging with somebody. And they're not going to send you a message back saying thanks. So we want to keep the conversation going, right? So engage or not engage. And the other thing is, we're going to find people who are having birthdays that I don't know, right? Because we connect with a lot of people and we don't take any action. So there'll be people in my network that are having birthdays, and I want to be curious as to, should I re-engage with this person, or should I engage with them at all? Because I've never had a chance to speak with them. So what do I mean by that? So I'm going to pull up Mark. Okay, we'll click on his profile. So I don't know Mark Huber.
I do.
Someone knows Mark Huber? Okay, great. Awesome. Well, to let Mark know he was featured today on the training, because he happened to have a birthday. So did you know it was Mark's birthday today?
No.
No. All right, perfect. So at least we know we have a reason to reach out to Mark. So first things first is from last week, we talked about what am I looking at on the on the profile review. Well, Mark's connections are exposed because they're in blue. So first off, I want to call Mark and let him know to change his privacy settings. The second is his contact information. All right, so he's got some good things here. He's done well with that, and him and I connected April 7th, 2017. Still, I have not had a chance to actually talk to Mark, but we connected about 4 years ago. So his phone number's here, and I would want to see what job he's in, digital sales. And I'm not really sure what he does, but the point of the whole exercise is, if I've identified somebody who's having a birthday, I don't know them, I go on their profile, I see that, hey, Mark could be a great client for me or a referral partner. So now I've identified him. We've been connected for 4 years. His phone number's here, right? So I'll pick up the phone and call him, and then I'll go with my transparent script. And when I say transparent script, it's all we're doing is exactly explaining to the person how we arrived at this phone call. So it's really easy, right? So if you tell the truth, it's easy to remember, right? So you just say, hi, Mark, this is Brian Rachel. First off, happy birthday. Great. Okay. Mark's wondering, who are you? Why are you calling me? Right. So happy birthday, Mark. Listen, Mark, I was on LinkedIn today. I saw you had a birthday. And then it looks like you and I connected about 4 years ago and have some mutual connections. And really the reason I was reaching out is because when I landed on your profile, I noticed that your connections were exposed. And someone like you, you probably want to make sure you change your privacy settings. So at least I want to bring that to your attention. And I know it's your birthday, so I don't want to take too much time. But I also noticed that you're in the digital marketing space, and I love to work with people in that area. Would you have time next week to possibly have a chance for us to have a quick intro call and talk about how we might be able to work with each other? Yes, no, maybe. Yes, send me a link. Great. Again, I don't know the direction, the way the call is going to be, but I'm prepared to go, this way, or that way. But my goal is to call Mark, wish him a happy birthday, let him know about his connections exposed, and try to get an appointment for later. And usually people are less resistant on their birthday, right? And I'm acknowledging it. And you could even say, hi, Mark, this may seem out of the blue. First off, happy birthday. This is Brian Trachel. We connected about 4 years ago on LinkedIn, and I saw you today and didn't realize how we knew each other. But then I noticed a few things on your profile, and I saw your phone number was there. So I thought I'd just give you a call and say hello and let you know about X, Y, and Z. Really easy to do. It's fully transparent, and I'm not doing anything underhanded for Mark. I'm actually helping him out in a manner as far as regards to LinkedIn, and I might learn a few things about it. Now, option 2 is, everyone has a birthday on LinkedIn, and it will show up at some point, obviously throughout the year, but everybody else is also saying happy birthday on the same day. So what that means is that person's LinkedIn inbox is getting bombarded with empty happy birthdays with no messages. So another strategy is to wait a day, right? And do happy belated birthday. Take the opportunity to let everyone else do their happy birthday messages. And then you say, happy belated birthday. Did you do anything fun? ? All right. So those are the 2 scripts for birthdays: engage, not engage. Happy birthday. Hope you have a great celebration, period. Happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. Are you going to, any big plans? ? And you can create any version of that, of course, that you want, but that seems to work really well. Now, if you want to go even further on layering the opportunity to have a conversation with someone on their birthday, you can say happy birthday, wait 5 minutes, and then call them. Because what that does is they'll get a notification saying, happy birthday. And then I'll call them and say, hi, Mark. This is Brian Trachel. Let's assume I know Mark. He's like, oh, hey, Brian, just got your birthday message. Yeah, it was funny. I saw your birthday today. I sent you a quick message, but then it dawned on me. It's like, we haven't talked for years, and I thought I'd just pick up the phone and see how you're doing. So now I get 2 opportunities for the same birthday. Again, it may not be your style, but it definitely is a great way to leverage these touch points with people, especially who are having a birthday. So right now today, I have approximately 6 opportunities to engage or non-engage with people in my network, or find someone in my network that I don't know who they are and what they do, right? So I would do, again, I click on their profile, see how it says happy birthday. I would say, any big plans? Right, but I'm not going to do that to people I don't know. So for people I don't know, I'm going to investigate, click on their profile, do a profile review. There's the contact info. Let me let that load up. Okay, so websites, and I also look to see how the website's working. So I connected with Matthew 10 years ago, or 11 years ago, roughly, and don't remember last time we spoke. So I might do a little, maybe I'll call him after I do my due diligence and say happy birthday. So regardless, it's a great tool. And how do we find it? It's in our daily notifications. So pay attention to those daily notifications. The next thing that happens is that people start new jobs. What better way to, keep track of your network, especially if they're in referral positions for you and they move to a new company, right? You want to be the first one to congratulate them. So Stephen started a new position. I can say congrats, right? Okay, so see how it says congrats on the new role? LinkedIn did that for me and I could hit send, but everybody does that, right? So we want to create another way to say it. Hi, Stephen. Best of luck in the new role. Would love to touch base with you after you get settled in. Are you still at the same number? Question mark. I'm always ending with a question mark because people feel compelled to respond back to you. So again, it creates engagement. Or I could say, congrats on the new role, keep up the great work, period. And then that's a non-engaged message, but it's still custom. You never want to go with what LinkedIn suggests you should say, because again, everyone's taking that easy road out and there's no effect when that happens, right? Okay, so that was a new position. The next one is that comes up are work anniversaries. So let's find a work anniversary. So Gregory, 15 years, right? Say congrats. It says congrats on your work anniversary. Again, very generic, right? I would say, wow, 15 years. Much continued success to you, right? And I could simply send that, right? And now Greg is going to get a message saying, congrats on the work anniversary, much continued success. But I didn't ask him a question, so he may come back to me, he may not. But chances are he may go to my profile and wonder what I've been up to. And if I really want to layer it another time, I'll click on his profile. And I can say, okay, his connections are in blue, which means what? His connections are exposed. I can let him know, check his contact info. There's his phone number. We connected in 2010. And then since I'm here, I'm going to go all the way down and play our endorsement game, which I'll get into more, but we talked about and getting endorsements, right? So I'm going to endorse them for social networking. All right. So now Greg Remington, who I really haven't talked to in 10 years, just got a message from me. And then 3 minutes later, he just got an endorsement. So I have 2 opportunities for him to go to my profile or send me a message back. Then that gives me the ability to give him a call and say, hey, how have you been? What have you been up to? What's new? General conversations, right? And that's really what we're trying to do, is have opportunities just to let people know we're in the business and maybe he has a referral for us, or who knows what's going to happen. But those are the sales calls that I like to have, because they're not sales calls. We're just making touch points, right? Versus, you know, door knocking or cold calling, prospecting that way. All right, back to notifications. So we have, again, you're going to see a lot of things happening on your feed. Mine's very cleaned up at the moment. So you're going to see just, you know, with the 3 things I'm looking for: birthdays, job changes, work anniversaries, right? And I'll go back. Thanks, Rocky. There's a mention there, and then 4 others. So you want to go back probably about a week, right? And birthdays, maybe 2 or 3 days. But that's your feed. That was 4 days ago. So I'm always up to speed on that. And if you don't know how to turn off a notification, because you're going to get a lot of noise, just click on those 3 dots and turn off those notifications. All right. Any questions in the chat or any comments on the daily notifications?
Someone
Nope, okay.
had someone had a question. Do you have to have the paid version to see the contact info?
No, you have to be connected to them to see the contact info, right? So if they're a first-degree connection, you'll have access to their contact info. But again, that's provided that they put it on there, right? That they put it on their profile. So that brings up another great opportunity. So if there is someone who you want to talk to and you're connected to them, but their contact information is not there, I'll send them a message and say, hi, Barbara. I was hoping to give you a call today, but I didn't see your contact info in your profile. What's the best number to reach you at? Question mark. And that usually will get a response, because they don't know why or what it's regarding. I always keep it very vague, right? Because if we say why or what, the chances dwindle the more information they have on the other end, right? So I had a question for you, Barbara. What's the best number to reach you at? You know, you're going to say, well, what's he want to ask me, right? That's like me saying, Barbara, I have something to tell you, but I can't tell you till later. Okay, right? It's going to drive you nuts for the next 45 minutes. Well, what does he want to ask me, right? So we're playing the same psychological games with LinkedIn to get these appointments. And again, I'm not trying to trick anybody. That's just human nature, right? So if you know human behavior, then LinkedIn's going to work out great because people love answering questions. And you can say when you connect with people, which is another part we're going to get into, when we connect with people, you know, we can say, I'm looking to connect with other people in the title of business. I actually had some questions about the Arizona market. Now, you're probably going to accept that connection request more than just saying, I'm looking to connect with other professionals. Or a great profile, let's connect, right? Those are generic connection requests. You really want to be specific, but vague at the same time, if that's even possible, right? But I saw you're in the REO industry. I had some questions about your company and would like to connect. Rather than trying to combine why you're reaching out, just keep it vague. And then after the second follow-up message, thanks for connecting. The reason I reached out was I had some questions about, are you managing XYZ portfolio in the Scottsdale area? Question mark, right? What's the best number to call you? I didn't see it in your, so all these ways are eventually going to lead to a phone call. You're going to message to get to the phone or go direct to the phone. So, but that's a great question, whoever asked about the contact information. And again, if you weren't here before, you do not need to have the premium version of LinkedIn. I've been using LinkedIn for 15 years for free, using the non-paid subscription. So there's only just a few bells and whistles more having premium. If you have it in your budget, it's great to have, right? There's no doubt about it. If you can spend the $65 a month, great. But it's not necessary. It just gives you a few more options, but nothing worth the monthly fee. So I would rather someone spend $65 a month on dinner or your Netflix or something else, or marketing campaign or some other product that you could use. Okay, so we talked about daily notifications. Now we're going to talk about the home page, right? So the home page is now we're talking about really engaging in real time. So after I've done my daily notifications, some days I'll have 10 birthdays, some days I'll have none, other days I'll have 3 work anniversaries. So it's always going to change, right? What we're going to do now is what I call the 5CL method. And what I mean by that is we're going to do 5 things every day on the home page, right? This is your LinkedIn feed. And it stands for comments and likes. So it's real high tech, right? 5 comments and likes, any combination. I'm not concerned about what it is, but as long as you're doing 3 of this, 2 of that, or 4 of this and 1 of that, just do 5 things every day on LinkedIn. So number 1, I'm going to look for opportunities to chime in. So this is my friend Steve, right? He just posted, right? 20 minutes ago. Nobody's commented, right? 1 person has liked it. So I'm going to like it. And then I'm going to be first to the party, right? So I'm going to comment on Steve's post. And say, what's he saying? People are lucky. Luck is a result of hard work at the right time. All right, so now I've liked it and I've commented it. So if Steve's post goes viral and 1,000 people like it, guess who's holding the #1 position for the entirety of that post, right? So as long as this post exists on LinkedIn, I will be at the top and everyone is going to see my profile here. And also 2 things happen. Steve just got notified that I liked his post. And then he also got notified that I made a comment on his post. So he may also say, geez, I haven't talked to Brian in a while. He may reply on LinkedIn and say, thanks, Brian, or make a comment. And I'm engaging with Steve directly, as well as the rest of Steve's audience if they're paying attention to the feed. So huge leverage point. Now let's go back and look at our timer. That took me approximately 15 seconds. Right, so everybody in my network now is going to see that I liked and commented on Steve's post. It might drive traffic to Steve, and then Steve gets notified directly that I made a comment. So it's a 2 for 1, sometimes a 3 for 1, just by doing that. So likes and comments. So then I'm going to go down for the next opportunity, right? Pearl Meyer is a company that I work with, right? So I'm going to like it. I'm not going to comment because I don't know their business that well. Wendy, like, right? So now that's happening. say looks like fun. Looks like fun post. And I'm just going to keep going down the line, right? And I'm just doing random drive-bys. But you see how Brad Duckett likes this? So I'm connected to Natalie. I don't know to Brad, but he liked it. And he's now in my feed, and we're talking about Brad on this webinar because he took the time just to like something. So every time you're liking something, everybody in your network sees that you're active, right? So if it pops out here, it looks like we are connected, but then you can see who Brad is. And maybe you'll go to Brad's profile and say, maybe I should connect with Brad. So we keep going down. Here's Eric with Realty One Group. I'm going to put like 10 best road trips in Pennsylvania, right? I could say great photo, love Pennsylvania. So it's all real generic. I'm not committing to anything, right? That's going to put me under scrutiny. I'm just saying, thanks for sharing. Great idea. Awesome photo. Congratulations. Anything, right? But all I'm really focused on is getting visibility, because everybody in my network is going to see me, especially if you're connected to me. You might laugh tomorrow when you see Brian liked this, Brian commented, Brian, oh, I see what he's doing, right? But you saw my name 5 times that day. So every time, every day, 5 times a day, that's going to keep creating that awareness that you're always there. And it also looks like I'm on LinkedIn all day long, but I'm not. I'm just simply browsing for a couple minutes a day, right? So I'm going to like this one. That one's old, but I'll like it anyways, right? And that's pretty much it for now. So I think everyone kind of gets the sense of what I could spend my time. So that said, you know, we went through my work anniversaries, my job changes, and my birthdays. It was probably about 20 people there. So I would have made 20 contacts right there. And then I commented and liked on about 5. So there's 25 touch points that I got done in less than 15 minutes, right? Those are huge numbers. You start, you know, the compounding effect of that over time is going to drive traffic back to you. And I haven't even talked about phone calls. That's just, you know, copy pasting and not even picking up the phone. So then we can get into our calls and start, you know, bringing things to people's attention and having meaningful conversations. So that is the daily. Yes.
Oh, so there's a question. Michael asked, how do we find the posts that we've created? He's done several in the past week, but can't seem to find them. Is that something you could quickly show us?
Yes. Is that Michael Hill?
No, it's Michael Dugan.
Okay. Well, Michael Dugan, I could find you on LinkedIn, right? And I can look at those posts, or because there's a piece there for you if you're posting, which is actually going to be next week on your activity, but it's under your activity. So to answer your question, you'll click on your profile, click view profile, and then you're going to scroll down where it says activity. I'll let this take a second to load. All right, so there's my activity, right? And you see it said looks like fun. And then you click see all activity. This is everything I've ever done on LinkedIn, right? These are all my posts. These are all everything I've done, you know, so it'll be there, Michael. It'll show everything you've done, whether it was a post, you wrote an article, or just simply click all activities. So it says, you know, I like this one. I like that one. Like that one, commented on this one, right? So everyone is going to see this in your feed. You'll see that 5 to 7 times a day. But just go on your profile specifically, click on activity, and then you can see what you've done on LinkedIn. You can also remove things if you need to, right? I could put in, you know, actually I can't do that right now. I'd have to go unlike it right here. See, if I like something by accident, I can unlike it. So I'll like it again. So you can always fix something, you know, if something goes wrong in that area. But to recap, you're going to get daily notifications, 7-10 minutes a day. Go to your home page, and then like, you know, 3 to 5 things, comment here and there. And then on top of that, you want to start following companies. So what I mean by following companies is I put up Starbucks. So you want to look for opportunities outside of real estate to get visibility on your profile. So Starbucks has 2,194,000 followers, right? Starbucks posts every day. So I'm going to click on their posts. All right. So here's their posts. And let's see what the activity was. Okay, so Starbucks posted 2 hours ago about climate change. And only 5 people out of 2 million have decided to comment on that post. So imagine if you can get yourself in a position where you are the first person to comment, like this person, Jesper M, made the first comment on a post that has a viral capability to reach 2 million people. And all it took him was a few seconds to say, here's a great, right here, that's my style, thanks for posting, right? This person didn't really care about the fact, about the topic, but they just wanted to get on the board and be seen amongst 2 million people. So look for those opportunities. And if that's not enough, right? Let's say I want to get someone else's attention. I can like his comments, right? And I can reply to his comment and start engaging with people. That drives traffic to my profile, right? If I click like here, he's going to wonder who the heck I am and probably say, why is this guy liking my comment on Starbucks, right? It's very random. I understand that, you know, the synchronicity of it is what we're putting into play, is the activity. This activity continues to create opportunity. You just never know who you're talking to or what can come of it, right? So look for, you know, companies that you follow, right? They could be sports teams, right? So we'll talk about Las Vegas Golden Knights, right? And you want to start collecting these icons as well by following companies on LinkedIn. All right, so there's the company. We'll see how many followers they have. Here's the Golden Knights. I'm already following them. They have 7,000 followers, so we know there's 7,000 Golden Knights fans in Las Vegas, right? So if we're doing real estate in Las Vegas, this may provide us with some information. So we're going to go to the posts. And let that load. Just a little slow today, but we're not terrible. Okay, it doesn't look like I see their most recent post. But if they posted today and you were the first one to comment on it, it's going to show that you're a realtor in Las Vegas and you're a Knights fan. So you could just say go Knights and that'll get you on the board. So look for opportunities to follow companies. Now, we talked about groups the previous week, about maybe joining some groups and expanding your network, right? So where are the groups you're in, right? Or do you want to find more groups? First, let's start with the groups you're in. If you don't know what groups you're in, you're going to go to where it says work. And then you'll see groups. All right, and you can join up to 50 groups, maximum of 10 per day. But what people don't do in groups is they don't really engage in the groups. And most people don't because they're very static. However, if you decide to be that person that wants to get active, then you have yourself a very good opportunity. So let's go into the B2B marketing group, 89,000 members. And what we're going to do here is like and comment, right? Nobody's liked and commented. There's 89,000 people in this group. Few people are posting 2 days ago, right? They're doing some surveys. Only 2 likes, no comments, right? So if I want to dominate a group just to get visibility, I should go in once a week and go ahead and hit like, comment, and these people who are posting are going to get notified. And then people in the group who take the time to go are going to see that at least someone is active in the group. So it's just a matter of timing. But how much time did it take me to go in this group? Less than 3 minutes. Upside, 89,000 eyeballs, right? That's a huge opportunity. So I could go into all my groups, like and comment. I probably wouldn't do 5. I'd probably do 1 like and 1 comment. But if you start crunching the numbers, each week I could probably reach 5 million people. And what did it cost me? Maybe an hour and a half of my time, 2 hours max each week to get 2 million, opportunities. And if you say, well, how do we know it's going to work? We don't. But how do we know a direct mail campaign is going to work? How do we know a email marketing funnel is going to work? How do we know Facebook ads are going to work? Right? It's the same premise, but at least we're in control and we're driving the ship and commenting and engaging with people directly. So this is truly B2B. So any questions on the group? So when you're commenting and liking, you're liking on the homepage. And then you're going to follow companies, right? You could follow up to 1,000 companies. So I could spend a whole day just commenting and liking on companies that I follow. Could be sports teams, restaurants, food, any brand that you use in the house, car companies, right? Let's take a look at Tesla. There's Tesla. Seems to be a popular car, so we'll go with that, right? So we'll click, I'm already following them. They have 7 million, almost, let's call it 8 million followers, right? And let's look at their posts. So if you have a Tesla, right, join the Tesla team. Looks like 4 months ago was the last time they posted. They got 657 comments and 284,000 views. So let's look at the comments. So if there's 657 comments and you're a realtor and you own a Tesla, right? And you look at these profiles and you find out this person's in Las Vegas, the vice president of gaming, right? And he just bought a Model S. That's a conversation, right? Hi, John. I'm a fellow Tesla owner myself. Saw your post on LinkedIn. Would love to connect. Would that be a quality connection? Do you think John would say yes to your connection request? Didn't say anything about real estate. Just that I like Tesla too. So just start looking at LinkedIn a little differently, where there's so many touch points, even outside of the direct connections in your first degree. You can start following people with similar interests and reach out to them because of that. And I'm being very direct and transparent. Hi, John. I saw your post on the Tesla page. I'm in Las Vegas myself and own a Tesla. Would love to connect. And I have 657 of those opportunities right here. That's probably a week's worth of data mining just in this section alone, right? And then I can go further down. But maybe there's just a Tesla group on LinkedIn. So I'm going to put Tesla, enter. And I'm going to look for groups, because we're already following the company. So that's not what I'm looking for. I want to look for groups, which is a subcategory. There's Tesla Motors, a group for all Tesla Motors enthusiasts, right? So if you own a Tesla and you love it and you want to connect with other Tesla owners, there's 13,000 members in this group, 9,000 members in this group, 4,000 members in this group, so on and so forth. You could join all of these groups, like and comment, post your Tesla into the group and say, anybody in Arizona is a fellow Tesla owner, want to go out for a joyride on the weekend? Right? Let's all meet up, organize a caravan, something. So start getting creative with the things you like to do. And eventually, if you show up in your Tesla, people will say, oh, what do you do? Are you in real estate? Because you had your signs on your car, right? Remember the magnets and all of our branding, right? So maybe you wrapped your Tesla. Again, I don't want to get too crazy here, but the point is that there's so many things that hiding in plain sight that we can take advantage of, and it's really not working. We're networking with people with similar interests who at some point are going to buy or sell their property, or know somebody in their network that is looking to buy or sell, or maybe even they need a rental and you can help with property management or relocation. So really hard to say what's going to happen, but if you put the time in and you pay attention to these opportunities, it's way better than cold calling. All right, so join groups, get active, find people in your networks. Also, reach out to your fellow alumni, different schools, and then pay attention to the daily notifications. So let me just go back here. Any questions, Dia, or anybody about some of the things we covered, or anyone want to do a specific example? Or maybe, I can show you that it's relevant to your interest or your target market. We have a few minutes here, so I want to make sure we open it up to some Q&A.
There's no questions in the chat, but you guys that have been on these calls, I mean, this is a great time to even take it all the way back to the first part. And if you had some questions about what, or maybe, you know, not sure how something works, feel free to unmute yourself to ask Brian questions, because now would be the time.
My
Yeah, and look-
experience with it, it's been that it takes a little bit of time to build the connections on LinkedIn, and you have to be consistent.
Well, but what about the connections you already have, right? Rather than building more, have you looked at who you're already connected to and have furthered those opportunities and gone back to them and, you know, rediscovered why you connected or where they are and started a dialogue with them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing fine. I'm just telling people that this is okay. I mean, I love LinkedIn, but it's going to take a little bit to engage with others as well, because otherwise you have to keep going. It's not like Facebook or Instagram where you keep seeing in your feed the people that you already are connected with. So because LinkedIn, you got to go to their profile until you actually have engaged. Otherwise, you won't see anything in your feed if you continuously post, but you don't engage.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to pay attention to it. So it becomes a daily, you have to commit to a certain amount of time per day for you to stay and be, you know, mindful of what's happening in your feed. But that is a great opportunity if you're not seeing those people posting. We talked about, you know, using endorsements as an opportunity to get their attention, right? So if you created a list of everybody in your past client list or referral list, and you endorse them for one skill once per week, that is a way to stay dripping on them throughout the year, because most people will have 50 skills in their profile. So you can simply every Monday take out your spreadsheet and say, okay, today I'm going to endorse Barbara, Dia, Joyce, and everyone from Rock and Escrow Options Group. And I'm going to go. So at least I know each week I'm getting 5 touch points for those people. And they might even thank me for the endorsement. And of course, as we know, we're going to re-engage and say, you're welcome. Is there anything else I can endorse you for? Or how have you been? Or some type of question mark at the end. So, or pick up the phone and say, my pleasure. How are you doing? So I'm always looking for ways just to get my phone to ring or an opportunity to make a phone call. And since we're here, since Rock Title's right here, right, let's make sure everybody on the call, you know, goes and follows the company, right? And then we can practice on Rock Title and say, like and comment about, you know, today's class or something to that effect. So click on Rock Title. And I'm already following them, so you'll have to click the follow button. And then you can see what posts Rock has put out. And you guys put out great content on Welcome Back Title Tip Tuesday, 17 minutes ago. So that's fresh off the press, right? So nobody's commented yet. So let's make the challenge. Who's going to be the first to the show and get themselves in the pole position to comment on Title Tip Tuesday, right? I'm not sure what the tip is, so but I'm at least going to like it because I'm sure it's good, right? So, all right. I could just say, love these tips, right? And beat everybody, right? But I won't steal anyone's thunder. I won't post that, but you can just say something like that, and then Rock Title's reach. We have 205, so hopefully everyone's following them. We'll get that number up, but that's how it starts to build, right? Everything.
Yeah, so if you're in Arizona, there's also Rock Title Agency, I believe, because in Arizona, we have to have agency at the end of it when we're presenting. So hopefully we have an agency page. I'm pretty sure we do. So you might not
Let's
know
see
it.
if we do. Well, if we don't, we'll create one. So
Yeah.
we'll do that. But for now, and again, if you have your company page, you can also be posting. We'll get into that next week, more about your strategy and, you know, creating posts and engaging even more. But we've all started from building your profile, right? And then going to expanding my network. Who do I know in my network that I don't know, right? And then who do I want to know in my network? And then who's completely outside of that? What industries would I be interested in following? Which companies would I like to get business for? Maybe, you know, do the home buying presentations, relocation opportunities, right? Finding decision makers, reaching out with personal connection requests. and then posting, or not posting, but daily notifications, birthdays, job changes, work anniversaries, and then simply doing the 5CL method, which is commenting and liking on your homepage, and then commenting and liking on companies that you follow, and then commenting and liking on groups you're involved in. So you might be like, wow, that's way too much, and it's a lot. I'm not asking everyone to do all of that every single day, but just take the piece that you like and do something consistently. Whether you just do birthdays every day, that's fine too. There's a question?
I have a question, Brian.
Sure.
On one of the classes, I think it probably was Waking Up to Win Out of Corporate, you had mentioned about finding the icons when just putting the icons on both like a click and paste. And I couldn't figure out how you were doing that. Do you have time for that today, or should I just call you?
Yeah, no, that's fine. So the following the icons, what I mean by that is you're following companies, right? So every time you follow a company, you under your interest at the bottom of your page, you're going to see those icons, right? And people identify with brands. So at a quick glance, we'll go to the bottom of my profile and you can see all the companies that I'm following. And then you can actually piggyback on that and follow if you like some of the same interests that I have. It's going to take a little bit to load. But at the bottom, you're going to see the interests, and then you'll click on interests. So right now it only shows 6 at a time, right? You click see all. And then you go to companies. And then these are all the companies. I'm probably following at least 675 companies. But it starts to paint a picture, right? First, you'll see a couple things. Okay, nothing, that really stands out. And then you'll see, okay, all right, Walt Disney, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, PayPal, Home Depot, Amazon, right? So it starts to be, just kind of random little indicators of what I might like or be interested in. So you can kind of piece together something that, some of these are pretty loose too. Don't hold me to it. Like I saw you were following, so that must mean you're like a diehard fan of that. Not necessarily, but I know other people might be, right? So I want to mirror and match my audience as much as possible to see, I do like Volkswagen, right? Just kind of go through here, but that's how you collect all the icons. So yeah, you can have a lot of fun, right? And then all the football teams, right? Just go nuts. But every time you do this, you're going to get updates from these companies in your feed, which allows me to, if Atlantic Records puts out a post and I'm the first one to comment, I have 104,000 opportunities to connect with people who also like that. HBO has 1 million, right? So if you like Netflix, HBO, Showtime, follow those companies and comment and like, because there might be another fan of your favorite, maybe Game of Thrones or something, right? But you can really have fun conversations on LinkedIn and then connect with them and say, hey Dia, I saw your post about the most recent episode from The Walking Dead and I thought it'd be great to connect with you on LinkedIn, right? So it's no different than Facebook. That's the key thing. People have really gotten away from the fact that they think it's so business on LinkedIn that Facebook and LinkedIn have to be completely separate. If you integrate how you act on Facebook and bring that into LinkedIn, you're going to have a much easier time, because people are people across the board, and they're only going to connect with people with similar, interests or a reason why we should be connecting on LinkedIn. Otherwise, people are just getting bombarded with salesy, spammy messages, right? So I just want to have a little bit more fun and have a higher quality opportunity where that person could at least be a referral partner and maybe a potential client down the road. Or maybe they changed jobs and they decided to reach out to you because you kept in touch with them, or you endorsed them consistently and you always had good posts, or who knows. So but yeah, collect the icons by following companies, and it paints a picture, and this picture will change every day, right?
That's great.
So
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks. Good question. Got a few more minutes, comments, questions. Anyone want any review or something I can help them with personally?
It looks like Michael mentioned something, which is, I think you've talked about it as well, but it's really a good reminder to make sure you search and follow local companies and help promote that local business.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially as a realtor, you want to follow the National Association of Realtors. You want to follow, if you're in California, the California Association of Realtors. Collect icons that people would expect you to be involved in, right? A Women's Council of Realtors, the local boards, the La Jolla, Real Estate, Mission Hills, even the small boards, right? The Greater Las Vegas, the Chamber of Commerce, the Better Business Bureau. Follow these companies, because when people see that, it's a quick glance, but we don't realize how much our eyes are taking in at once. That's really speaking to our subconscious level. We're identifying things about people that we haven't, that we're looking for. Some of you may even see right here, Landmark Education. If you've done Landmark, you know what this is all about. And that may change your perception just in a quick second about, okay, oh, Brian, okay, I get it. Brian did Landmark, or he's done this, right? Little certain key things are going to give you insight into the person you're talking to. And it's really about having a meaningful connection and a relationship. I mean, most agents that I work with, they always say you're a realtor for life, right? Well, you're a realtor for life is because you have kept in touch with that person. You care about your clients, right? We're creating personal relationships, not just numbers. And LinkedIn gives you the ability to go way deep with your clients, especially because everything about them is in their profile if you take the time to pay attention to the clues. So I'm hoping that people are, piecing the puzzle together, right? All the components. But again, even if you just did birthdays, think about how many times, we didn't have a good birthday CRM, or we weren't doing that, consistently, or picking up the phone and talking to people. And they say, oh, I'm so glad you called, right? All the daily notifications do is prompt us to decide, should I call? Oh my God, I haven't thought about that person in years. I'm going to call them, right? And that's really it. It's just making those additional sales calls or additional touch points. A friend of mine said this year, his New Year's resolution was, I'm just going to do 3 more things a day. That's it. But if you multiply 365 by 3, right, that's how many more opportunities he's creating in his business plan this year for one transaction, or maybe 2 transactions. So think about, if I just did 3 birthdays on LinkedIn, and if I wasn't doing it, you just added that to your baseline. So do the math, right? Could that new strategy produce a new client? And I think it might. I really think it would. So Dia, you were muted, so I'm sorry I couldn't hear it.
I was just saying that is powerful. Like, I was going to go type it into the chat box so people can, remember that. 3 more things a day. That's awesome.
Right. If you're not commenting, do 3 comments a day, right? More than you normally did, which was 0, right? And then do that consistently for 52 weeks. And how could the numbers not work for you? That's what I
Right.
always say. It's like, how could they not? Right. If you have people saying, well, if I do this mailing campaign to this farm consistently for 12 months and I get 1 deal, it'll pay for that campaign. The only thing we're paying for right now is time, right? And the time investment
Yeah.
is minutes. And the upside could be a 10, 20, 30, 40, $100,000 commission check. So
Huge.
that's really why I like to weigh in hard about why I believe in LinkedIn so much, is because you don't have to do a lot to get a little, right? So I appreciate everyone, following along with my rants and raves on LinkedIn, and what you can do. And next week, we're going to talk more about actually building out your campaign. So now we're going to talk about, what should I be posting, and what am I looking for after I've posted, and how can I follow up from that perspective? So, and then we can probably have some time next week to do a little bit more of a review. But I would ask you kindly, if you haven't connected with me, please do, because the more I can see your profile, the better I can, give you some spot check-ins, which I do from time to time. Some of you, I see some faces or names that I will say, hey, by the way, saw your post, that was awesome, or your profile's looking good, or notice this. So, let's keep that engagement going. And then again, just a quick, Rocky, I know you're on the call, and I believe you had a birthday the other day. So happy birthday. And hopefully your endorsements are going up. So if you haven't connected with Rocky or endorsed him, let's give him a birthday present and get him up to 99 plus in every area on his profile. So appreciate you. Go ahead.
Hi, Brian. Is there any way you could take 2 seconds and click on the where me, and then the settings, and show people how to make their connections private? I know it'll take you 1 second.
Okay, yeah, we have 3 minutes, so we can do that, right? So you'll click on the me, you'll go to settings and privacy. It's going to take a second to load. And then you're going to go over to the left where it says visibility. So click on visibility. Then you'll see profile viewing options, right? We're going to change that because a lot of you may have your picture here. You want to put anonymous LinkedIn member. Then you'll go down to who can see your connections. You're going to change that to only you. There's only two options, connections or only you. And lastly, you're going to go all the way down to the bottom where it says visibility of your LinkedIn activity. And we want to make sure we're not sharing our updates with our network as it pertains to our profile. So share
Yeah.
profile, make sure that's no. That has nothing to do with posting. That's at your profile. And I think I use the example like, oh, if I played lacrosse in college and I added it under my activities, everybody in my network would see Brian updated his profile to show he played lacrosse in college. Not a huge like, oh my gosh, I better comment and like on that. Not something everyone needs to know. I was just updating my profile to kind of keyword it with some new activities. So those are the top three that you want to use when you're talking to people. And again, these are great ways to call your clients. I mean, if you have a financial planner in your network that you do referral business with and their connections are exposed, call them and let them know. If you see that their website's not working, call them and let them know, right? Just any reason that you can reach out to help your colleagues or your peer referral group. It's a great opportunity because a lot of people are not updating their profile. It shows the company they were with 10 years ago and there's been no update. And when you do a Google search, that's what shows up 1, 2, or 3 as a result when people search you online is your LinkedIn account. So it's really important to get that really tightened up and making sure. So great question, Barbara. I'm glad we were able to do a refresher. And we just hit the hour, but I'm happy to stay on for another minute or two, Dia, if there's any comments or questions.
Yeah, I'm not seeing, you already went through everything that I see in there. Yep, as far as I can see. I don't think we
Yeah,
missed any. Yeah,
We just have to get recommendations is the last thing, is getting current recommendations, testimonials from people. So we'll start with that next week and then get into some social media pieces on LinkedIn. But I appreciate everybody consistently showing up and spending an hour of your day, and hopefully you can spend 7 to 15 minutes after you get off the call and play around and have some fun with LinkedIn and see what kind of results you get.
yeah, it's awesome. Thank you so much, Brian. I can't even believe how much we learn every single call. So really appreciate you doing this for us.
Yeah, my pleasure. I really enjoy it. And again, if you have any questions directly, reach out to me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Just shoot me a quick message on LinkedIn. So usually,
And I will send out the link for next week's class as well as the recording once the recording comes in. Okay.
Thank you, Brian. I just sent you a connection request.
Great. I will accept that as soon as we get off the call. I appreciate it. And everyone have a good week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Dee. And thank you, Brian.
Welcome.
Thank you.